So Bailey, what was being played in the house, like when you were growing up? Because as I said, when it comes to our music taste, it's given to us up until we're in about middle school, and then middle school we kind of start branching off and kind of finding like our other, kind of exactly what we like and what we want to listen to. So you said you grew up with your whole family. What was like being played that you remember?
Yeah, so like I grew up with my whole family. Takes a village, honestly, even though I'm an only child, so whatever.
Really?
Yeah, I am.
Oh, wow.
I am, but so how I grew up, like musically, my mom would always play like Mariah Carey, Mary J. Blige, like Usher, Gwen Stefani, so like R&B was her situation. My grandpa would play like old heads, so like not even old head rap, like Temptations, like Marvin Gaye.
You was raised properly.
Yeah.
That's what that's telling me.
And then I didn't even get to my dad, because my dad would always play like old head hip hop. Like,
okay, give us some names. Who do you remember?
oh my god. I mean, like if New Edition counts.
Okay.
Like,
all right.
I don't know if they count as like old head hip. Not really. That's like pop.
Yes, yeah, that's like R&B pop.
He would love like New Edition. A few songs like Bobby Brown, I feel like I'd hear.
Okay.
Wu-Tang Clan, of course. Run DMC, DMX.
So very New York.
Yeah, New York.
Okay.
Also like Outkast, Andre 3000 too.
So some Atlanta.
Yeah, Atlanta. T.I. sometimes, mostly my mom. So like there's a variety of things.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. So what did you gravitate to the most? Because that's kind of like a lot of your hands is in a lot of different things. Like that's a very diverse like music sense. So what would you kind of gravitate to the most during that time?
Honestly, Mariah Carey, like my mom's side of music, because like all her albums I would know front to back. I don't really know them front to back anymore, but like I used to be in the car singing You'll Always Be My Baby, like all that stuff.
Okay.
So yeah, like Mary J. Blige, Mariah Carey, Beyonce, of course. That's what I really
So you gravitate a lot more towards like R&B.
Yeah, R&B.
Okay. Nah, definitely. Nah, I hear that. Yeah, my mom, Mary J., my mom had almost every album.
Yeah, exactly.
And knew it word for word. And we used to have to do a lot of driving with my mom's. And she'd be in that damn car singing them songs with her heart out. So, like, it's some Mary J. Blige songs that'll come on and I could sing them damn near on command.
Yeah, for real.
Definitely.
So.
But, so that was what you was listening to when you were, like, an adolescent age. So then your middle school years, as you started, like I said, as we kind of started to get to that level of our lives, you were still in Atlanta.
Yeah, I was in Atlanta.
And your middle school years were 2012 to like 2013, 2014?
Yeah, 2012, 2013,
Okay.
Yeah.
So you were in Atlanta when a very interesting time in Atlanta. Like, you know, guys like Jeezy and T.I. were still, you know, very commercially successful.
It was a weird spot, yeah.
Yeah, this is the time Gucci Mane was pretty much putting everybody on in Atlanta with Thug, Pee Wee Longway, and the Migos. I think the Migos was popping off during that time. How did being in Atlanta during that time, like, kind of shape your music taste as far as, like, in your middle school years?
I won't even lie to you. Like, besides, who did we listen to? Like, this is so embarrassing. Like, Fetty Wap.
Okay.
I mean, Migos had one song. It was Hannah Montana, I think.
Okay.
And that was all, like, rap I'd listened to. I feel like in middle school, I was more of, like, in my rebel age. Like, I don't know. I was listening to, like, Lana Del Rey. Like,
Fire.
The 1975, like, in my middle school depresso like vibes.
I feel you.
Like I would listen to Nirvana. It was such a weird time, but like I feel like a lot of people go through that phase where they listen to like alt rock or like classic rock or whatever. I don't know, but it was just speaking to me during that time.
Okay. So not too much rap.
Not too much rap, yeah.
So,
like,
but it was mostly, you said that's alternative, right?
Yeah.
Nah, those are still some phenomenal artists. Like I said, I'm pretty much 98% what I listen to is rap music.
Yeah.
But nah, that's actually like you're the first person to like really say that like during like
I won't
the
even
middle
lie.
school ages. Yeah.
I was going through some stuff in middle school.
Yeah, we all were.
Yeah.
We damn sure all was. But
Yeah.
but still phenomenal taste nonetheless. So that was the middle school years. Then as we get to the high school years, you moved to Chicago. Now Atlanta and Chicago are two extremely different places.
Very different.
But they're both big when it comes to music.
Yeah.
I feel like Atlanta probably a little bit bigger, maybe, yeah, probably at that time, or probably even now. But how was the shift, like, in music taste, and especially within the hip-hop scene, when you moved to Chicago?
I don't know if... I mean, I guess Atlanta is a little bit I wouldn't say it's bigger. I feel like it's more established. Like they have, or maybe it is bigger because they do have more well-known artists, I guess. I think the shift for me was, like I said, in middle school, I was listening to like alt, like rock stuff. But when I got to Chicago, like 2013, 2014, all my friends were listening to Chief Keef. So naturally, that's something I would start listening to. And I just kind of went from there. And then, like, I just remember a lot of new age rap kept coming out. 2015, 2016. Yeah, like Uzi, Migos was making more music. Yeah, there's a lot of examples. So I think the shift for me was moving away from like my middle school self and stepping into something that is more me anyways. Like I don't know what I was trying to do with like Nirvana, like as when I was like 12 years old, you know? Or however old, 13. But yeah, I mean, it was kind of empowering. Like me and my friends would always listen to Migos. Like that was our thing, or whoever the artist may be, or Chief Keef or something. So yeah, it was definitely a transformative time for me.
Now, when you moved to Chicago, what part of Chicago were you living in?
I was living in the South Side, so 87th and Damon is where I lived.
And that's a very black area, correct?
Oh, absolutely.
Like South Side is black. Chicago, I heard, is like a very segregated city.
It is.
So South Side is black, North Side is Caucasian, like Italian. And, okay.
Yeah. So like the North Side is predominantly white. West Side is more like minority communities.
Okay.
So and then same with the South Side, but it's predominantly black.
Okay.
So yeah, I was like south. Like so the loop is where it's 0 to 10. And then the further south you go, like the higher the number is. So I think the furthest street south in Chicago is like 103rd or something like that. So I was very south.
Okay.
Yeah. For just to give you like some kind of proximity.
Nah, I definitely appreciate that. I mean, I don't necessarily too well know like the streets in like Chicago, but definitely I know some of our listeners, so I definitely appreciate that. Now you mentioned him, and I just want to make sure that we touch on him before we move on to our next thing. You mentioned Chief Keef. And I've said this before on the show, and I'm gonna say it again. Chief Keef to me is, between him and Young Thug, I probably would say, and Kid Cudi, I would say those three. There's a couple more, but I would say that those are like three of the biggest influences of what's going on in rap music today. And you know, Chief Keef pretty much had, you know, because when Chief Keef came out, I was in like 8th grade, like when he really blew. I was in like 8th grade, 9th grade, like, you know, when he was like really like in like his commercial prime.
Right.
And just from the slurred speech, the ad-libbing, introducing drill to the mainstream world, then him being 16 and him really living that life because he was getting arrested every 2 months, like every other week. Like, what does Chief Keef mean to Chicago? What is the impact that he has in Chicago? Like, you know, I think a lot of people, especially people within our age, really, you know, we love Chief Keef and, you know, we respect him as a legend. But, like, how is he viewed in his city? Because, you know, there was not really any marquee gangster rapper from Chicago up until him. Like, you know, you had good rappers out of Chicago. You had, what is it? You had, I think Twista is from Chicago, if I'm not mistaken, or Illinois out that way. You had Ye. You know, Ye is who he is. And then, you know, you had Common. So you had a lot of great quality rap coming out of Chicago, not this in Chicago. But as far as like that, like I said, that marquee, like gangster rapper, he was the first. But back to my original question. What was like Chief Keef's impact, like from like your point, like from your view during like those years when you were in Chicago?
I think he had a huge impact. I think his music definitely brought everyone in Chicago together. Like, and just introduced a new type of rap to the scene, which, like you said, you named off some rappers from Chicago, like Common. Yeah, they have distinct sounds, you know, but so does Chief Keef. So I think that he's definitely introduced a new sound to rap, and he's honestly set the stage for a lot of rappers out here. I feel like he's the blueprint in many ways. And as far as like him building community in Chicago, like, Chicago has so many issues, you know, but the best thing about his music and the impact his music has had, it's like, it's brought people everywhere together, because it's like, damn, that's my nigga. That's Chief Keef. Like, he represents Chicago. He represents me. So I think a lot of people can resonate with that in Chicago.
You know, it's really funny to hear you say that because, you know, I remember there was at one point where, Chief Keef was, like, when he was first blowing up, they wouldn't allow him to do a concert in Chicago because they said that, okay, like his presence, his lyrics and everything, like it caused a lot of violence. Cause, you know, I'm not trying to talk bad about Chicago, but, you know, Chicago's a very violent city at times. So, like, I remember, like, it was a hologram and they had to shut the hologram down because it's like,
I remember that.
yeah, and it's like, yo, like, cause like tensions really flared up like that just with his presence. Yeah. So if you can you please dive a little bit deeper into you saying that he helps build community, because a lot of people would not look at it that way. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's an interesting perspective. Like, Chicago does have a lot of issues. I don't think that, obviously, okay, everyone knows Chicago. Not Chirac.
I mean, it got that
have you
nickname.
been to Chicago?
No, ma'am.
Exactly. So don't speak on it.
Fair enough.
Like, the thing is, you know, every city has its issues. And Chicago does have issues, right? It has had issues with crime in the past. But I don't think that the rest of the world sees it in the way that it actually is. And a lot of times I talk to people about Chicago and they say, oh, Chirac this, Chirac that. Like, you haven't even been to Chicago and you're speaking on it. Like, you know that from social media. You know that from maybe the news or whatever, all these biased sources. But, like, when you're living in it, it's very different.
Very different.
And so when I was there, I never experienced a lick of violence. You know, I live in the South Side. It's supposed to be, oh, you know, dangerous, you know, shooting, gangs and stuff. Like, okay, that happens. But
It happens everywhere.
it happens everywhere. And also, like, and maybe this is just a hot take, but I think that a lot of the violence and a lot of that type of community building, that type of community, it stems from the political issues in Chicago. And I can talk about that for ages. I don't want to, like, get on my high horse or anything. I want to stay on topic. But, like, I think that, you know, you mentioned Chief Keef not being able to perform because he's inciting violence and stuff. I don't think so. I mean, what is the most a bunch of 15-year-old kids can do? I mean, I guess 15-year-old kids can do a lot of damage, but, like, I think he's just speaking on a part of the community that's not really heard, and I think that's what the government or the mayor or whatever was actually scared about. Yeah. Because when people aren't heard, they get upset, you know? Like, and that stems from schools in the South Side not getting funding for education. You know, people don't have after-school activities. What are they going to do? Their parents aren't home, this, that, and the third. Like, they're pretty much, like, catapulted into these lifestyles, and they're not getting help, so.
And when I mentioned Chirac, I wasn't necessarily saying that's the way I view the city.
Yeah.
But
it's just a term that people use.
Yeah, and it's so loose. Like, that's why I wanted to ask somebody who's actually from there and grew up there and experienced it, because, you know, I mean, like I said, born in Atlanta, lived there for a little bit, then I lived upstate. I've seen, what is it? Like, for example, I grew up in Rochester. Yeah. And Rochester, their murder rate is ridiculous as far as for this small amount of people. So, you know, I understand what it's like to come from a community that, you know, is very violent. People on the outside looking in don't necessarily, like, understand, like, the implications of, you know, their ignorance. So I was just saying from the outside looking in, people say Chirac, and it's like, you know, and they're referring to the violence there. So, but nah, I definitely understand, you know, where you're coming from. And, you know, like I said, I always tell people, like, you know, people may not like Chief Keef's lyrics, but it's coming from a place of authenticity. So it's like, you know, these are lyrics that, you know, people... This is a reflection of his life. Right. So I always respect it, you know, and he just did it in such a stylistic way, you know, and I always was like, damn, like, I look at rappers like him, even like Future, like some other rappers, like, damn, how can they make such a struggle sound so great? And I think that's, you know what I mean? Like, I was like, man, like, that's like one of the beautiful things about hip hop music. But so as far as Chief Keef's view, like, is it like, because one thing about Chicago artists is that, or Chicago as a city, like, they put on for their city. G Herbo, Common,
Chance.
Yeah, even. Chance. Everybody puts on for Chicago. Yeah. So, like, I see Dirk, and Dirk will go do a show, and it'll be sold out. He'll run onto the crowd, and the crowd will erupt. Like, he'll sell out the United Center, I think. It's the United, where the Bulls play. Is it the United Center? Yeah. I think so. Yeah. Okay. Wherever the Chicago Bulls play, that arena. So, like, he'll sell that out, and, like, they'll go crazy. And G Herbo is extremely well received in Chicago. But, like, you know, like, like I guess overall I'm asking is like, is it like a God level type of like influence that Chief Keef has there?
Nah.
Nah, not really. Okay.
Like, Chief Keef is cool. Like, love him to death. We'll sell shows out. But same with, like, New York City vibes. It's like, I don't know. People have grit, you know? Like, people aren't worshiping him, you know? Yeah.
I was remember just speaking to like the influence, but
The influence.
I see your point. Yeah, because his influence worldwide is absolutely ridiculous. That's why I asked, like,
Yeah.
when you look at drill is now in Brooklyn, drill is in different parts of Africa, West Africa primarily from my research.
And in the UK, too. It's a huge UK thing now.
UK, the sound is still strong. That's why people said drill died. I'm like, where?
Exactly. No, that's a good point.
There's a Russian drill song that has, I think, about 100 million views
That's
on
sick.
Yeah, on YouTube. I'll share it with you.
Yeah.
I think drill is in Ireland.
Probably.
Yeah, drill is in Ireland. So it's like, and a lot of like these artists, the person that they're looking to is him.
Yeah.
They're looking at him and they're looking from, you know, guys like Bibby, guys like Herb. But it's like, okay, or Herbo rather. But it's like, okay, but the person who brought this sound so everybody could enjoy it is Chief. So that's why I asked, like New York, like I said, I grew up in Rochester. Right. So I remember being in middle school, like when I was in high school, like, because we used to have to catch the city bus, and people used to bring like link speakers together and blast Chief Keef like the whole time. And I'm like, yo, they really hang on to this man every word, anything he did, anything he said, everybody. Like, you go to school, it'll be like, oh, did y'all see what Chief did today?
Yeah,
like it was like that. That's what made me ask that.
Okay, facts. Because now that I'm thinking about it, I feel like a lot of people. Maybe this goes back to him being like a bad influence, which I don't believe, but. Yeah, people definitely started like drinking lean and stuff.
See what I'm saying? Yeah.
Once he like hit the stage, like it definitely became more popular in like circles and stuff. So.
And I just want to speak positively on the man name real quick. I mean,
sick.
and you know, fashion is something I want to touch on a little bit later, but I even say to this day, like, I think Chief Keef.
His fashion is crazy.
Remember how he had everything dressing with the True Religion?
With the True Religion dripped down, yeah.
Everybody, like, you know, if you had the True Religion, jean jacket with the jeans,
the
God.
acid wash True Religion jeans,
you was fly as hell
for real.
Yeah, Imani, was that going on in New York? What? Like the
True Religion,
like all down when she like
dripped down.
Yeah, because like I said, like she's from New York, you from Chicago, from Atlanta.
Yeah.
I was in Atlanta during like Chief Keef's prime years. Like I was like, wow, like. It's just crazy to hear, like, all in 3 very different places, Midwest, South, and North. Chief had everybody, like I said, rocking Truey. I said this before, Montclair.
Yeah, facts.
Like, all these Montclair. I think I don't know if Chief was the first rapper to do it, because there might have been somebody else who might have owned a Montclair. But as far as, like...
No, he set the tone for sure.
For the Montclair jackets. And I just look at it now... Like, and just kind of mixing designer with, like, you know, different, like, streetwear brands. Obviously, he's not the first to do that, but I think when it comes to fashion, he's influenced. Like, with you being a fashion person and you being somebody who is, you know, pretty much born into fashion. Yeah. Like I said, we're going to touch on your story in a second. Like, how do you feel like his influence as far as fashion is?
I mean... I feel like he definitely had a huge influence. Like, you spoke on that a little bit. I just remember seeing in high school, and I always wanted to be that kid, but I didn't have the money for it. Like, white bitches were dripped down in True Religion. Like, I won't even lie to you. Sorry.
No, that was hilarious. Nah, you speak freely.
Yeah. And that was sick. That was something I wanted to do. And they were listening to Chief Keef, and we would listen to it at lunch, after school, during volleyball practice.
You play volleyball?
All the time. Yeah. So... yeah, he was definitely a huge influence. And as far as the Montclair jackets, I mean, not many people at high school had them, but there were a few kids that did. Not me.
I mean, even rappers, like, I feel like Montclair kind of took off in rap right after him.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah,
and people wear them all the time now, too.
I think we got to give Chief his credit.
That's true. I feel like Chief Keef has definitely set the stage for, like, everything, but no one's really giving him credit
for his fashion sense. Like,
yeah,
Drill being a gangster rapper, being a young, you know, gangster rapper, you know,
at 16 he was doing it.
Yeah, and then like I said, then you look back and you look at, like, even when the old photos come up of, you know, from that era, people like, oh, like, look at these old photos of such and such. You even see it. Yeah, you see.
What is your favorite Chief Keef song?
Can I give you 3?
Yeah,
I can't give you one. Oh, God. You just fucked me up.
Sorry.
My favorite. He has so many.
I can give you mine.
Okay, bet you ask me first.
Okay. You go first.
Finito definitely.
Okay, good one.
Yeah, some about that string section. That shit gets me every time. I gotta put Love Sosa on there.
Okay. I don't know if you've heard it. Mm-hmm. It's called My Baby.
No, I need to look that up.
It's so
okay,
good.
My Baby, I need to look up. Okay,
it's so good. Mm-hmm. That's like his best song by far. Mm-hmm. And like, I actually had a funny memory with that song too. Mm-hmm. I think I was like junior in high school listening to that song for the first time, and me and my friends were driving to like get a vape or something for like the first time. And I remember getting these like blueberry like fusion like pods, whatever. And then my mom pulls up out of nowhere. I guess she was tracking my location or something. Like this was, I guess I wasn't supposed to be out. She finds us in a car, like, blasting My Baby in the car. And she rolls up. And I'm, like, hitting a vape as she rolls up to the car. And I'm like, hey. And she literally just, like, it was a bad situation. She saw me vaping. The vape was gone. Within minutes, like...
Oh, was she on your ass?
Yeah, she was on my ass. She was on my ass. As she should be, like,
and you know what?
as a teenager.
And shout out to moms, because you're a senior, right?
Yeah.
And I already know that you probably got a million things lined up when you get up out of here. I already know you about to go get you a whole bunch of money. I already know that you about to be on a lot of boss level type shit. So,
Moms, so will you.
I appreciate that, Bailey. Thank you. You inspire me. So
you inspire me.
For real?
Yeah.
How? Tell me how.
You inspire me because, like, you're always on the grind, you know? And you're so well spoken. I wish I could speak as well as you, you know?
Bailey, I think you need to give yourself more credit.
Thank you.
Yeah, for real. But I really appreciate that. So thank you. We inspire each other. Real quick, just to touch on my last Chief Keef song. The song is called Booty Call.
I haven't heard that one.
Fire. So you send me My Baby, I'll send you Booty Call.
Okay.
And then he has another one too. With Playboy Cardi. You heard that one? Mileage is fun. Yo, see what I'm saying, bro?
Yeah.
Like, yeah. And then his feature on Uzi shit on Bean is fire.
Good. Bean is good.
He got on that shit and went stupid.
No facts.
Yeah, but and Water Resort off of Autopsy is fire. Yeah, he got a couple.
Also, his like album covers are crazy.
Yeah, he has some really good ones and some questionable ones.
There was one like. Yeah, I don't know.
No, but yeah,
they go crazy.
Yeah, all those songs definitely probably be like from Chief's discography. So anyway, just to touch on Chief, like as I said before, I think he set the standard for a lot of these young rappers coming in the game and being successful.
Definitely.
I think that he set the standard as far as for gangster rap of the modern era. He set drill ablaze, fashion wise, he did his thing. And you want to know something too? I know I shouldn't ask a woman her age, but you're 21.
Yeah.
You're 23. I'm 23. You know how old Chief Keef is? 27.
Really? That's crazy. He's so young.
Chief Keef is younger than all the Migos. He's younger than Lil Uzi. He's younger than Moneybagg Yo. He's younger than a lot of these artists today. He's only 27 years old. So we said all that to say this. Chief, legendary, beyond it. I'm so glad that I'm able to utilize this platform and with a fellow Chicago native who knows what she's talking about to be able to give you your flowers. Because like he's the soundtrack to, I said this in another episode, my middle school years, high school years, and even college years.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Chief, if you needed to get everybody like riled up,
Love Sosa.
Anything.
Instantly.
Yeah, Finito, anything. Like, I mean, and just to finish, like I said, to move on, no, but I remember even, there was a video of like some college party, I think it was at Clemson maybe, and Finito came on, and obviously the house probably was in poor condition and it needed to be renovated, but I guess like the reaction and everybody jumped at the same time and the floor caved in. Like.
That's his impact.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, you know, and just how his music has been able to age and live on, absolutely wild. Like, what is it? Finally Rich, the first album came out, it just went platinum like a couple months ago. Like it took it 10 years, but like the fact that it was able to come back and you know people really was able to go back and really appreciate him.
Right.
But Bailey, real quick, because I do want to stay on music. I know you said you were in Chicago. You were going to like Lollapalooza and things like that. So, if you could, I always feel like when we talk about music festivals or like, you know, big concerts, I feel like Lollapalooza kind of gets overlooked a little bit. I think people talk about South by. I think people talk about Coachella. People talk about Rolling Loud.
Yeah.
But like, can you tell me like what Lollapalooza is like? Because Lollapalooza to me over the last couple of years has been crazy.
Yeah, no, yeah, I'll definitely speak on that because I went all 4 years of high school and it was crazy. Like, it was insane. I haven't been back since, unfortunately, but like those 4 years, like 20 out of 10, like I don't know how else to describe it. And they were definitely transformative for me. Like, I had my first drink. Mom, don't listen to this, but like I had my first drink going to Lollapalooza, like with my friends. Yeah, freshman year of high school.
Okay.
And yeah, it was just very transformative. I saw some really insane rappers. I think because I just love Migos so much, like when Migos performed, and my friends at the time can attest to this, like I was in shambles. Like I was crying, even though they were like an hour late. Like they performed for 20 minutes, best 20 minutes of my year. Like they ate. And I also got to see like Uzi, Future. I don't know if I saw Chief Keef when he was there, but like G Herbo, Chance, like basically all of the up and coming new age rappers at the time. It was like insane. And it does suck that Lollapalooza gets overlooked. I guess I never really thought about that because it's been so
it's been
integral for my life. Yeah. But it's a great festival and they always have a fire lineup. Like I just remember being like, damn, like I gotta buy these tickets. Like I need to go see this person. Like I need to see that person. So yeah, and the food is great. They have great food trucks there too.
Food trucks.
Yeah.
But do you think they food trucks rival New York City's? Because
I can't speak on that. I haven't really been to New York City's food truck situation.
You ever in Brooklyn, like the Bushwick area? You ever leaving the club?
Yeah.
Berea Taco.
Berea Taco.
It's this dude. He kind of swole and he tattooed from like his fingertips all the way up his arm.
That's
I don't know his
sick.
name. Yeah. He's I don't know where he's from, but Berea Tacos.
Okay.
About $13 after leaving the club, you get greatness.
Ooh, that sounds good.
Yeah, get there before 2 o'clock though, because after 2 o'clock, it's gonna be rough. But yeah, Berea Tacos. But so Lollapalooza. So you said definitely, people need to view it and more of like up there with the Coachellas and the Rolling Louds.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Like they always have insane headliners. Like when Chance the Rapper was super huge, like when he was huge. I hate his stuff now.
Really?
And maybe that's a hot take, but
yeah, we gonna speak on
that. He was a headliner, you know, and everyone knew him across the country. So they had huge names. They always had like the Rolling Stones too, like the Chainsmokers when they were big, like Ellie Goulding when she was on her violin shit, you know, like.
Yeah, so they have a very diverse lineup as well. Not only just a great lineup, but diverse one. Yeah, because I'm like, why do people like? I hear about the Dreamville Festival and it's all over the internet. I hear about Rolling Loud, wherever it is, in Miami, New York, LA. I hear about Coachella all the time. I was like, why don't I ever hear about Lollapalooza? And I'm like, and Lollapalooza is in a major city, and it's in a major city for music.
Yeah.
So that's why I just figured I'd at least ask. You know, that's why I wanted to ask, like, because I know you said you've been there a lot. So you said you've been there 5 times?
4.
4. Okay, so all of high school.
All of high school, 4 years.
Okay. So I wanted to speak on Chance because Chance, to me, when it comes to influence as far as streaming, I feel like he's definitely one of the more influential artists just due to the fact that Coloring Book was a streaming only album. He sold it to Apple, I think like for like $2 million. So they could have it a week before it got up on other DSPs. And then, you know, Coloring Book ended up winning a Grammy. It's the only streaming only album to win a Grammy. And if I'm not mistaken, yeah, I think it was the first, and I think it's the only, if I'm not mistaken. So, and you know, Chance, like, you know, Chicago, it seemed, correct me if I'm wrong, rather it's a gangster rapper or rather it's somebody, you know, a little bit more like kind of spiritual and a little bit more, you know, a tad bit more like, I ain't gonna say substance, but relatable substance. Like, it seems like Chicago really puts on for their artists. Like, has Chicago kind of forgotten about Chance? Because Coloring Book came out, and it did what it did. It was a phenomenal album. Yeah. Great body of work. It won a Grammy. It was great. What was it? The Big Idea? The Big Day?
The Big Day.
The big Monty, how do you feel about that? Because your face just says it all.
That was
And I was like a huge Chance fan before that album came out.
the Big Day was the one with like the CD.
Yeah.
It's the one with Hot Shower on it.
I completely agree with her because okay,
Like, what happened?
so Chance went to my high school, right?
What high school did you go to?
Jones College Prep.
Okay.
Go Eagles.
There you go.
He went to my
You
high
gotta
school.
say that with some pride.
Yeah, and like so he had a direct influence on my high school specifically. And like I remember his brother Taylor Bennett would pull up selling his CDs, like being like, "Yeah, I'm Chance's brother." Like I don't know. And at first it was cool, and then it was just kind of like, this is the third time here this week. Like it's time to go, baby. Like no one wants to buy it. Which is so mean, but like it was still a really cool part because when Taylor Bennett was coming to our high school and stuff like that, like that was when Chance was huge. It was like, oh shit, Taylor Bennett, like that's his brother. We're like one step closer to Chance. And then he blew up, obviously, and it was sick. It was cool. But then he kind of fell off. And I don't think that people forgot about him. I think people just started ignoring him because his music wasn't that good. Or just it didn't live up to the hype that people expected from Coloring Book.
Yeah.
And even like his mixtape, you know? Like his mixtape was sick.
Acid Rap. Right?
Yeah, Acid Rap. Acid Rap. Like
That
his
was-
mixtape was sick.
I used to have it on repeat.
Exactly. So like it just didn't live up to that kind of expectations. And I think that his more spiritual sound was cool. Like he made it work. And even you can see that with Ye and some of his new albums and stuff like that. But like I don't know what to say about the other one. Like I don't know. The Big Day was just not it for me.
So,
And people were clowning him too. People were like, he only talks about his wife and kids in his songs. And it's like, no one wants to hear that.
Damn.
And maybe I'm being brutal, but like,
Nah, I guess.
I
You know.
think I'm being brutal.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I understand. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, like, you know, the way you feel, you have a very intelligent music opinion, and you know, I could definitely understand.
What
where
do
you're
you
coming
think
from.
though?
I'm being real. Me, I like gangster music.
Yeah.
So, you know, my favorite rappers are, you know, 3 6 Mafia, Project Pat, Gucci, Pac, Biggie. Nas got his gangster elements. You know what I'm saying? Like, I like a lot of gangster music, a lot of trap music. So Chance, but I respect art. Like me, like when you mentioned the 1975 and Nirvana, phenomenal artist, and I could probably sing some of their songs.
Right.
But you know, Chance never really was necessarily my taste because, like I said, I mean, and like I said, I like gangster music from all over. Rather it's the trap sound, rather it's '90s gangster, rather it's Brooklyn drill, rather it's Chicago drill. I just like gangster music. So Chance never necessarily made that, and that's perfectly fine. But you know, I respect Acid Rap. Great project. You know what I'm saying? Phenomenal vocally. Good when it comes to the concepts. Coloring Book I never listened to. You know the only song I ever heard off of Coloring Book?
Which one?
The one with 2 Chainz and Wayne. No Problem.
Yeah.
You don't want zero problems, big fella. Shout out to Haha. But yeah, yeah, that was the only song I ever listened to.
I will say
that album?
was really good. Like,
Oh yeah, I believe it.
at the time, I would listen to it front to back, and I think that it was at an important time for Chicago specifically too, because we had a lot of gangster rap, like Chief Keef,
Yeah.
G Herbo. Like, I don't even know if G Herbo is a gangster, but like whatever.
Nah, G Herbo like that. Don't do that.
Is he?
Hell yeah.
I
Herb
know,
like
I
that.
know he is.
Yeah, don't do that. Come on, man.
You might have to cut that. out.
Yeah, facts, bro. Yo, nah, we definitely cutting that, Bailey. Bailey, come
I'm
on.
not trying to
I
get
don't know if
clipped.
you like that. I'm like,
I'm not
Bailey.
trying to get clipped. He's been silent for a while. He's been silent, but like, okay.
He's got engaged. He has children.
He's
he
behind the
grew
scenes.
up.
Okay, good for him.
Yeah.
Props to G Herbo.
G Herbo. Shout out to Herbert.
him.
Herbert Randall Wright III. That's his government.
I know. Shout out to him. But what I was saying was, it was definitely an integral or important time or important part of Chicago. Like,
Yeah.
Coloring Book specifically came at a time where gangster rap was at its peak, and then you had something new.
Yeah. And creative.
like a new sound and something that was like more uplifting than just talking about,
Yeah.
you know, who you about to shoot tomorrow.
Sex, drugs, and guns. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think that's another reason why it was so popular. Like people were like craving to hear
Something positive.
something positive. And I remember when he performed at Lollapalooza in the summer, like that shit was spiritual. I don't know, like people, like you could really feel the energy, and I think that is another reason why that album like took off in Chicago and took off specifically because people needed to hear some positivity, and that's why I like Chance. You know, like.
No.
You can have some positive rap, that's cool. I usually listen to like Gunna or like YFN Lucci or whoever.
Okay.
Like I don't know, like a bunch of random people. But yeah, people just need to hear something positive, I think.
Yeah, and that's what the beautiful thing about Chance. So like I said, I never necessarily listened to his music like that. The only album I ever listened to was Acid Rap. And Acid Rap's great. And Coloring Book is great, I believe, too. Like I said, the only song I ever heard was No Problems. But Chance just never really was necessarily my cup of tea, but he's phenomenal.
Yeah.
You know, like for example, I mean, to me, probably the most complete rapper, I don't know if I call him the greatest. I mean, he definitely is in that category, but the most complete rapper to me isn't a gangster rapper. I think it's Kendrick.
Interesting.
Yeah, I think if you pretty much had to create a rapper, I think he's like one of the molds. Him, Wayne, Biggie, Pac to a certain extent, Drake to a certain extent, like Eminem to a certain extent. There's a lot of people who I feel like if you had to build like the perfect rapper, they pretty much touch on about, I feel like 80% of what you should have, and I put Kendrick in that category.
Well, yeah, I think Kendrick's an incredible artist, period.
Yeah.
Like, one of the best, for sure.
And he do shit that I just, like, Kendrick, like, I don't want to touch too much on him, but, like, it's just things that he do. Like, I always say this, when we talk about greatness, is there something that you can do that other people just simply can't? Drake, when it comes to mixing and combining the genres and pretty much being able to make a hit song out of almost any genre that he puts his mind to. You know, who else? I mean, Nas's lyrical ability. I mean, Nas has a song called Rewind where he tells a story backwards.
Yeah, that's insane.
You see what I'm saying? You know, who else? Lord Infamous with his triplet flow. Even though that could be replicated, but like he's like the real architect of the sound. But like, can you do, or like Eminem, like you could throw him a word and he'll rhyme it, like on the spot. So like, it's like, can you do things that other people just can't do? And like for me, Kendrick, I think Kendrick can damn near do any style.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, like what's the name of that song where he go, if I had to slap the shit, I'd make it look sexy. What's the name of that song?
That was on the Black Panther
Element?
album, right? No.
No, it was on Damn. I think it was called Element.
Yeah, Element.
Partially through that.
So, such a good album.
Great album. Probably his
And
best
that
work.
came out in 2016 too, right?
17, yeah.
2017. Oh my God.
But when you listen to that song by Element, you know, I would say one of the craziest stylistic innovators in hip hop is Juvenile from Cash Money. And Kendrick borrows his flow. Niggas thought they weren't gonna see me high. Niggas thought they weren't gonna see Kendrick on the TV high. And I'm like, wait, did he just use Juvenile's flow? I was like, because Juvenile even said, like, for people asked Juvenile about his flow, and he was like, yo, I literally used to drink and just go in there and just rap. So I was like, wait a minute, Kendrick just used this motherfucker's flow on a song that's completely different from Juvenile and what Juvenile, you know, does generally with his take on his own flow. And I was like, and it worked.
Yeah.
And when I heard that, I'm like, wait a minute. So anyways, I said all that to say this, is I want to get back to Chicago. That's why I personally put Kendrick in that category. I feel like in almost every single quality that a rapper must have, Kendrick's not lacking in any of them.
Yeah, and I think he exceeds those expectations too. Like he literally, the Black Panther album is probably
Phenomenal.
one of the best albums I've ever listened to, front to back, like period.
Yeah, I'd agree.
So I think
He curated that.
yeah, exactly. Like that is exponential talent than just being like the epitome of a rapper. Like he is an incredible artist.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, I mean, he definitely had influence in Chicago. Like Damn was such a good album. But
Yeah, phenomenal. That's Damn, I think it's probably my favorite from him.
yeah.
But Bailey, I want to touch on a couple more questions because I think we got like about a half hour, 35 minutes.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm asking. Okay. So I definitely want to touch on fashion, but one quick question: which city goes harder for their artists, Chicago or Atlanta?
That's hard.
No.
That's hard.
Got to pick one. Cause y'all rep in Chicago, but Atlanta, they come through with theirs too.
Ooh.
But you lived in both.
Okay. My answer is Atlanta, only because in Chicago, like we talked about this about Chance, like people just like cut him off quickly, you know? Like people will die, like ride or die for people in Atlanta, you know? Which I respect. Like even Outkast and Andre 3000, like they're a little bit older, but people are still heavy on Outkast. Heavy on Outkast. So
I listen to an Outkast album probably once a month.
yeah, I mean, I love Outkast. My favorite song is Spodioti Delicious. Have you heard of it?
What?
It's so good.
Girl,
it's like 6 minutes long.
I remember being in the car with my who else want to fuck with Hollywood Court? Come on, man, you don't try me.
Okay,
I remember being in the car with my daddy.
Sorry.
Late night. And he put that shit on. Let me put you on some playing music, son. I remember my dad. Shout out to my pops. I miss you, Dad. But I'm gonna see you next month. But anyways, but yeah, Liberation is one of my favorite by them.
But even like now with Gunna and like the whole trial that's going on, I feel like people are passionate about it, you know?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you know, I think the city of Atlanta is still putting off a Thug in a major way from what I've heard. As of course I'm not there, but so you would definitely say Atlanta. You would say Atlanta goes harder. Okay. Next up too. Between Ye, Chief Keef, and G Herbo, Chicago has an argument for the most influential city in hip hop. In hip hop fashion, the most over the last decade. This is probably a question. I just want to make sure that I touched on this. What is Chicago's formula for their influence? So, as we already spoke on, Ye is Ye. Deal with Adidas that made him a billionaire, and then, you know, things, you know, the situation where his comments happened, and then, you know, he lost his billionaire status. But what he was able to do with Adidas, what Ye was able to do with Nike, you know, Ye is, to me, probably when it comes, maybe the biggest influence ever when it comes to hip hop fashion. G Herbo with the G Fazos. That's become a thing everywhere. And we already spoke about Chief Keef's influence. So I'll just ask the second part of the question again. What is Chicago's formula for their influence when it comes to fashion?
Their formula?
Yeah, when you look at the last decade, like I said, between Chief, Montclair, and True Religion, G Herbo with the G Fazos, and Ye with Adidas and Nike, and Louis Vuitton, because he has like the Louis Vuitton Jaspers. Like, yeah, what is Chicago's formula when it comes to the influence when it comes of fashion? Like, I don't know if there's really another city in hip hop that can necessarily claim over the last 10 years the influence that Chicago has in the fashion world.
I mean, I think it just stems from, I guess, using the music and rapper example, it stems from like rappers just wearing whatever the fuck they want and making sick music. And I think that their music becoming more popular is really how people see their style and are influenced by their style. And that's, you know, why it takes off. I think, yeah, I mean, I don't know if there's like a specific formula, you know? I don't think it, with Chief Keef at least, I don't think it was intentional. Like, this man was in the streets at 16 making music, you know? And when he got a little bit of money, okay, he put on this Montclair jacket because he thought it was sick. And then other people thought it was sick. And then, you know, that snowball effect and became a worldwide situation. So I don't know if there's a specific formula, but I think that even though Chicago isn't a fashion capital, like, there's some sick fits coming out of Chicago.
I would disagree.
I mean,
hip hop fashion is alone. I'm not going to talk about overall fashion because I'm not as well versed in like designer fashion. Hip hop fashion, I would say it's definitely a fashion capital.
Okay. Yeah.
Monty, do you agree? Between, like I said, I mean, obviously Chicago, G Herbo wasn't the first one wearing all white ones, but
now everyone's wearing all white ones,
and they call them Fazos. Like for example, me, I work at the mall.
Right.
People come in and they like, it's Fazos. Like, somebody says, "Hey, do y'all have Air Forces?" I'd be like, "You need the Fazos."
Yeah.
Like, it's just natural.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So, and then like I said, the Montclair and everything else, but I think it's just Chicago just being true and authentic to themselves. But I would definitely say that Chicago is a hip hop
fashion capital.
Sure. Yeah, I have to give him that credit.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, like I said, the deal Ye was able to do with Adidas.
Yeah, that's
alone
sick. And then he had his own line.
Yeah.
Like Yeezy.
And now they can't.
Those Yeezys were like when they came out, 2016, 2017, everyone was trying to get their hands on like the Yeezy Boosts.
I personally like Adidas Yeezy more than I like the Nike Yeezy, if I'm being honest. That's just my personal opinion. But,
I mean, I do too. I like the Adidas ones. They were like
creative.
Yeah.
Super creative, super out there. So yeah, that's why I rock with Ye. We're hitting on fashion. You, to me, are one of the most creative and stylish people I've ever seen.
Thank you.
Yeah. And I mean that from a fashion standpoint, from a creative standpoint. Definitely plug your magazine in a little bit. But yeah, you're one of the most stylishly creative fashion people ever. I mean, people can look at you right now. And you know, they can tell, like,
Yeah.
you got this. Like, you got this down to a science.
Thanks.
If you could you just talk a little bit about like how you got your start in fashion? I know you said your mother was hugely influential. Like, could you just touch on that?
Yeah, so my mom, she is like worked retail pretty much her whole life, visual merchandising. So I grew up with her working at Sean John. She also worked with some other retailers that I can't really remember on the spot, but Sean John was like her main vibe before, you know, they kind of went under. And then she worked for Burberry for a while, so I had a lot of influence from Sean John, like more streetwear vibes, and then also Burberry, more luxury fashion, I guess, you know? So that's how I kind of got into it. And just like seeing my mom style herself and even style me, like I was the most stylish little kid. Like she would always have me dressed up, dressed down. Like I would match her sometimes, have the cutest birthday outfits. So
Shout out to your mother.
yeah, shout out to her, shout out to my family.
Do you look
and my
like your mother?
grandma.
Sorry, I know
I look
that's a random question.
I look more like my dad actually,
Okay.
which is I can try and find a photo, but it's actually the resemblance is crazy.
Yeah, I look just like my dad too.
Really?
Yeah. But then when I go bald, I'm really finna look like him.
Okay, this is my whole family. I don't know why it's doing this. Yeah, that's my whole family. And my dad,
Is this your father?
yeah.
The bald head?
Yeah.
Don't take this the wrong way. I mean this.
I look just like him.
Not even that. Don't take this the wrong way. I mean this with all due respect, but you know what they say, and she's a product of this too. If she pretty, her dad bald headed.
I've never heard that before.
She pretty, her dad is generally bald.
That man has been bald for a minute.
Yep, exactly. Like I said, I meant that with respect.
So she was definitely a big influence for me. I also studied in Florence my freshman year, and that's when I like really stepped into my passion for fashion.
I like that.
Yeah, I mean it's true because in Italy you're surrounded by people who take fashion
Very
seriously.
Very.
They will look at you crazy if you
Got on sweats.
period, like point blank period.
It's a lady. Sorry to cut you off. It's a lady here in Newhouse. Her name, Miss Vasiliv is what I call her, and she's from I think like Georgia or somewhere. Not let me not say where she's from, but she's from over there in Europe. And she even told me, I was like, Miss Vasiliv, you always so put together. And then you know she goes, I'm not gonna do her accent, but she goes, yeah. She was like, they'll look at you crazy if you know what I'm saying, got on
She's
sweats.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially in Italy, like people look at you like you stole their dog or something if you wear sweats, like for real.
They couldn't stand me because I love being comfortable. Please continue.
But so yeah, I had a host mom there, and she had her own jewelry shop situation. So she would always, you know, take me with her when she was going shopping. I'd meet her friends in fashion. I was surrounded by fashion, luxury fashion. It's like in the heart of the Renaissance too. So
You said this was in Florence?
yeah, this is in Florence. So I was just really inspired, I guess, by that. And I was like, let me step up my game.
Yeah.
Like I know I'm only 18, but it was really, I was given the chance to really just step into my individuality when it came to fashion. And that's why I love it so much today, because I like expressing myself through the clothes that I wear, I think.
Got you. Nah, you definitely do that.
Yeah.
I give it to you. You put stuff on that I think to the average person, you'd be like, this doesn't work, and you make it work.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because can I tell you something? And like I said, I don't say this to make you feel uncomfortable or nothing, so please let me know if I'm going too far. But when it comes to like you, I feel like some people are born and made to do things, and just from you, based off of who you are, the way you look, the way you dress, your story, how you came up just within fashion, and just everything up until this point, I really feel like you made for this. Like I feel like this is like really your calling.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, because how tall are you?
5'10".
Yeah, so you're tall for a
I'm
woman.
wearing heels though today.
Yeah.
I need to clean these boots, but these make me like pretty
6
tall.
foot, like
Yeah.
6'1". So you're 5'10", so you're taller than the average woman. So like, and models are like 5'10", right? 5'11" or something like that.
Like 5'9", 5'10", yeah.
Yeah, so you got model height, and then just with your knowledge and everything like that, like everything about you just gives like fashion. Like,
Thank you.
You know what I'm saying? So, do you feel that way, or do you feel like a lot more development went into this than what people give you credit for? Because I feel like you just naturally got it.
I do feel like like you said, I'm like made for this.
Yeah.
But I do think that I have put a lot of time and like effort into getting to this point, and not academically at all, really. Like, I'm majoring in international relations. It has nothing to do with anything with fashion. But because
I disagree.
well, okay, it has correlations, but
From the corporate business side, probably.
from like the academic side, the things that I'm studying, like international political economy, like capitalism in Europe, like
Doesn't really correlate.
not directly. There are
Okay.
definitely correlations, but my point is, so I feel like I have had to put a lot of work into it because I'm not studying fashion design. I'm not studying like fashion communications now. So all of my time and effort outside of those classes has been spent on like my passion. So, I'm in the Fashion Design Society. I'm the creative director for them. I'm starting my own magazine. It's called Zeal, Zeal. It's a Web3 magazine focused on fashion, art, and culture.
There you go.
Hit me up on Instagram at Zion Zeal. But my point is, I put so much effort into it, and my mom kind of, bless her heart, but she kind of got screwed over by the fashion industry, and she never really wanted me to go through that same struggle that she went through. So there's kind of been pushback on her end and my family's end to pursue fashion, which I understand. I respect their opinion, but that's what I want to do. So putting effort towards that pushback, putting effort outside of my academics, and just putting effort in my everyday life has definitely been something I've been doing for a while.
Yeah.
So,
Bailey, can I tell you something? I really salute you for that, because my dad, as much as I respect my father, I know he supports me. He didn't want me working in the music industry. And I can't be mad at him, because anytime you cut on something, bro, all these rappers are getting killed.
yeah.
And then, even my mom she worries about every damn thing. But even my mom is a worrier about it too.
Yeah.
So the fact, but I had to tell her, like, yo, this is what I really want to do.
And you're doing it. You're killing it.
Thank you, baby.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. So I salute you, because I feel that same sentiment of like, man, nobody wants you to go into it. This is that and the third. But I really salute you for, handling your business and really being so secure within yourself. Like, hey, this is what I'm going to do, and I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
And like I said, y'all, make sure y'all go get her magazine.
Go get it. It's coming out April 29th.
April 29th. Make sure that y'all mark that date in y'all calendars. But yeah, so I'm extremely excited to see.
Yeah.
I've seen some sneak peeks. I can't give anything away, but extremely creative, and just a whole nother different vibe. Nothing like you've ever seen from a fashion magazine. Ooh, I made that rhyme. But anyways, but yeah, make sure y'all go get it. Zeal. You said April 29th?
Yep.
Bet. So you said a lot of work has went into this, but naturally, you just done it. I wanted to ask you, how has hip hop helped influence your sense of fashion? Because I know you said you grew up, your mom's was Sean John, but then she went to Burberry and other different fashion houses, and then in Italy, I take it that they're a lot more designer. So how has hip hop really played a part?
Yeah, I will say hip hop has definitely played a part when it came to like my love for streetwear. I mean, I don't have too many streetwear pieces because like that shit is so expensive, but like dupes, I got a few.
Okay.
And just in general, like, yeah, just in general, I'd say.
Like who? I'm sorry. Let me ask you a little bit more specific.
Yeah,
question.
I'm
Like,
trying to think.
Who in hip hop, or like what era in hip hop, or who in hip hop really like inspired you? Like when were you like, like I'm inspired? Like I'll give you some of mine real quick.
Okay.
So like a lot of my early fashion influences, anybody who wore jerseys a lot. Like Cameron, Nelly, Lil Flip, Ludacris. I feel like I'm missing people. Fabulous. I feel like I'm missing a couple people, but those is pretty much like the main guys. Like because I like sports and I love seeing them in jerseys, and I'm like, damn, like this shit is kind of fire. And then it made me go crazy when I was like 20, 21, and I ended up buying. I think I got like 30 of them Johns now, but that's a topic for another day. Anyways, so like those are some of my early influences, and then I looked at guys like Max B, all of Dipset, just with how crazy and how loud and how bodacious their colors were. I mean, Chief definitely, when I kind of started getting to the age where I wanted to dress myself. Who else is really like somebody I was looking to a fashion? Ye, can't, discredit him at all.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, anyways, those are some of
Yeah,
mine.
yeah.
'Cause, you know, this is So
I can
Who
give a
were
few-
some of yours? Yeah.
Yeah, I can give a few examples. I will say I did go through a True Religion phase.
Okay. Me too.
So Chief Keef is definitely one of them. I will say this might be weird, but like Uzi, for some reason, I just really
I can see
like
that.
the way that he wears whatever the fuck he
wants to wear,
wants.
yeah.
And not on a literal standpoint,
Mm-hmm.
but like figuratively, I think that's definitely been influential to me because he's not like any other traditional kind of whatever rapper. Like he has his own sound and his own style.
I mean, Uzi. Sorry to cut you off. If I'm not mistaken, I think if he's not the first, he's like one of the. If he's not the first, he's probably like ever. He's probably the first mainstream, like very popular artist to go by they.
yeah.
Uzi's not a him.
Oh yeah, sorry, yeah. So yeah, like they
Yeah.
go crazy
With the fits.
and
Yeah.
like they're just so individualistic about it, and I take that as inspiration for myself because it's like, why should I, try to dress like a rapper? Why should I try to dress like I'm going to college? Like,
Yeah.
like let me just dress like Bailey. Let me just dress like Uzi. That's been my vibe. Another person. Like City Girls for some reason, like
can
that girl
understand
JT. And it's funny because JT is dating Uzi, so like
It just
they're
goes
just
together.
such a cool power couple. So yeah, I take a lot of inspiration from her as well.
Okay.
And just seeing female rappers in general, like new age female rappers, and like Nicki Minaj and Cardi, even I don't know if Doja's a rapper, but like she can rap. a
Doja
little
Cat
bit.
is a rapper.
Yeah, she's a rapper. Like she can throw some bars. Like
Yeah.
seeing them step into their like femininity and not being afraid to be provocative, I fucking love that.
Love it.
And I think a lot of women, especially me, needed to see that. And I love it. So that's why I take inspiration from that.
Take inspiration from them. Okay. Yeah. Funny you mentioned Uzi because when it comes to what's going on in hip hop now with a lot more of these male artists or male presenting, being is that the proper terminology? Male presenting?
Yeah, or just
Like-
non-binary.
Non-binary. Okay,
Yeah.
thank you. Sorry, I try to be as respectful as I can to everybody. But what is it? So a lot of like rather males or non-binaries or one thing I'm noticing too, like, or excuse me, somebody I give the credit to. Let me organize my thoughts. Somebody I give the credit to a lot when it comes to kind of stepping outside the general boundaries within hip hop fashion and just the gender norms. It's Thug, Young Thug,
Okay.
because
Oh, facts.
Yeah.
And so many people were mad at him for wearing that dress. I'm like, y'all need to calm down.
Yes.
Because he looks great.
Yeah, and respectfully, mind your business.
Yeah. Like, I remember, weirdly, I was talking to my dad and my grandpa about it, and they're like, why is he wearing a dress? I'm like, y'all, that's why y'all are boomers. Like,
Oh God.
y'all need to sit down. Like,
Yeah, and there's certain things I wouldn't wear, and I have my own personal opinions about sometimes like men in Hollywood, and sometimes I think they try to force certain looks upon black men a lot. But at the end of the day, mind your business.
Yeah,
like,
and I
yeah.
think it's an important conversation to have too about like masculinity and in regards to like black spaces, like black men specifically, like how I guess intrusive that could have been his dress and everything
Yeah.
to like the black
But he got all these,
masculine image, I guess, but everyone's different,
Yeah. and and I think the thing with Thug is that Thug was authentic. Like, I ain't gonna say what I was gonna say, but
And yeah, like
Yeah.
just going off of that, like one thing I loved about that so much, and one thing I love about Uzi is like they're disruptive.
Yeah.
Like they're disrupting the industry with their music and with their fashion sense. Like even Chief Keef did that with the True Religion. Like
Definitely,
it was more gradual, but like that dress was in your face,
Definitely.
And I respect that.
And just real quick to speak on Thug, just because I don't want what I was getting ready to say to get taken out of context. Just because Thug is fighting a case right now, I don't necessarily want to speak too much on, whatever's going on in that case. But
Oh, yeah.
the thing that always, I think kind of opened people's eyes up was like, Thug is who he is. You know what I'm saying? Like, Thug, I just say this, Thug ain't soft. And then, saying for him to put a dress on and, for him to still be respected by a lot of the gangsters within rap music and everything like that. Like, I feel like Thug really kicked the doors down and he took the ass whooping for a lot of these artists to be able to do a lot of the things that they do.
Right.
From Cudi getting on Saturday Night Live in a dress, Uzi walking around with like the the satchel, or whatever it was, a purse, a bag, I don't know, whatever it was. Gunna having like that blue bag that he had that caused headlines. Like, I think Thug really took the ass whooping and crawled and walked it so these other guys could take it and run with it. Or excuse me, other people could take it and run with it.
Yeah, of course.
So, I give a lot of credit to Young Thug as far as in that sense and in that case. Has he inspired you at all?
Honestly, I won't say no, but I won't say yes. Like, I don't think I was
Like, you never like, wow,
day
this man
one
really
Young
inspires me.
Yeah. I mean, I love his music.
Yeah, fire.
And I respect him as an artist. I just don't. I haven't been like a day one.
A day one fan.
Yeah.
No, I understand. Couple of other things I want to touch on too, because I want to speak on high fashion. Could you go into a little bit more detail about like your experiences overseas with high fashion? Because, I don't think people in America really understand how high fashion is looked at overseas. So like, when you first got there, and I don't know if you, like I said, I know you were born to do this, so I take it that you probably went over there with, a natural, like a knowledge of what was going on as far as, like the norms and the customs. But like, when you got over there, like, how much different really was it? Even from somebody of your stature within fashion, like, was it like, wow? Like, because I know you said you had to step your game up, but was it like, okay, I got to step my game up? Or was it like, wow, this shit is really different?
So the one thing that I mainly noticed was that was completely different from like the US to Italy specifically is people in Italy know how to style themselves. And I think we talked about this like earlier, like a few weeks ago, but like I think there's a difference between someone who can dress well and someone who like has style or is stylish. I think there's a little bit more effort that goes into, or maybe it's more like a natural situation, like
Definitely
a
natural.
cultural or like a natural thing that goes into being stylish.
I would say natural and cultural.
Yeah.
And the reason why I say that is just because like me, I pretty much grew up in upstate, and no disrespect, not to say that people from upstate not fly, but when I got around people like she's my stylist. Like anything you ever see me when I sit in front of these cameras, she is the
Yeah, and I love those pants, by the way.
appreciate you. Guess who told me to buy them? She's from Brooklyn. So fashion in New York is fashion in New York. You know what I'm saying? Like that goes without saying. It's huge there. You know what I'm saying? There's a certain way you have to look. People from LA, a certain way you have to look. Or not have to look, but it's just embedded within the culture. So like anytime I sit in front of these cameras, Monty is she picks out all this.
Yeah.
Yeah, like and thank you for the compliment on the pants. I'm going to say thank you.
They're sick.
Yeah, appreciate you. She's just the one who told me to buy them. Like I literally took her to the mall. Only thing I did was had a credit card. Yeah, and I was like, hey, point it out. If I need to try it on, I'll try it on. I'm trying to step outside, the box a little bit, but I need your help. So, anyways, I said all that to say this. I definitely feel like it's a geographic thing. And like I said, I definitely feel like it's a cultural thing. But please continue. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and I also noticed in Florence that like also like your style, like head to toe, it's cohesive. It's good. You're killing it.
Bailey, I don't know if you know how much that mean coming from you. Because I look at you and like A$AP Rocky has it in a song, fuck fly, I am fashion. And I look at you and that's what I think of.
Thank you.
So for you to say that, I appreciate it, but all the credit in the world goes to Imani on this one. So thank you. But please continue. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I guess to just quickly wrap up this one. I was just saying, like, people in Italy and in London know how to style themselves, and I feel like their version of designer is wearing clothes that don't scream, I'm wearing Gucci, whereas in America, it's more of, like, about displaying that wealth. So you see a lot more attention to prints and, like, monogram prints and stuff, like Gucci's monogram, like Burberry even implemented a monogram recently with their last creative director, LV, all that stuff. And that's cool, but I think that it's less of...
Monograms, like all the logos all over
Yeah. There's less of that kind of like emphasis on just the name. It's more about like the actual outfit and like...
the actual clothing.
Yeah.
Execution.
And like quality of clothing too is a huge... I mean, quality of clothing is a huge thing, period. But like, I don't know, maybe in London they're just really uppity about it, you know?
One last question, because I definitely want to get this segment underway. So hip hop has now being accepted into hip hop music. I mean, into a lot of high fashion. So, for example, Gucci Mane, when he came out, Gucci said, "We appreciate if you didn't use our name." Now, a couple years ago, Gucci Mane was on the cover of their spring issue with his own shoe, or like a collaboration with his own shoe. And Gucci Mane is Gucci Mane. I mean, this is a guy who's been in prison before, and he's had some controversial things happen. I mean, Gucci now is married with children and a huge influence, one of my biggest influences. But anyways, so we see Gucci teaming up with Gucci. We see Donatella Versace played when the Versace came out, Migos first big hit.
Yeah.
Donatella not only featured in the video but played it at that 2013 the Versace spring showcase. We're seeing a lot more. Louis Vuitton messing with Pop Smoke, obviously. Rest in peace to Virgil. He made that play. But we're starting to see hip hop being accepted into into high fashion a lot more now. And before it was taboo.
Right.
Because, rappers were who they were for whatever reason. And, it's probably with some racism within there. And, some of the things that rappers talk about were controversial. But now we've even seen Pharrell be the creative director.
I'm so excited.
I'm excited, too.
I'm so excited about that.
And with that, we have seen designer labels collaborate with the hip-hop community more over the last decade. As I said, Migos with Versace, Gucci Mane with Gucci, etc. What do you feel like has led to this acceptance of high fashion within hip-hop?
I think it's been, the fashion space becoming more diverse and having people who are not white in leadership spaces, making those decisions and allowing that to happen. I think that's definitely been part of it, even though the fashion industry has a long way to go regarding diversity. But I think that's played a part. And I think that also just them being popular celebrities, people, pop culture influencers, or I forgot what the term I was talking about, but I think that people in the fashion industry recognize Migos' influence at that time. Donatella Versace was oh shit, they literally made an entire song about my brand. Let's incorporate that. Let's tap into that audience. Because, it's really a win-win for a brand when a rapper speaks about their brand in a good light and it blows up. There's so many opportunities marketing-wise you can do with that, right? And it's tapping into a completely new fan base, a completely new consumer. And I think that's really been it.
Yeah, and I also give A$AP Rocky a whole lot of credit when it comes to bringing high fashion to hip hop as well.
Oh,
because
for sure.
I feel like he was actually able to really have conversations with a lot of these brands and these houses, and I feel like he was one of the more first artists to really start getting accepted by them too. Not even getting accepted, but I don't want to say that, but having a partnership.
Yeah, it's also important to recognize the artists back in the day. Diddy starting his own brand is sick.
Definitely, and they see how well it sold.
Yeah.
So it's what, if they're selling their own brand really well, they could probably sell ours too.
Yeah.
So, what's going on, everybody? So, as I said before, and as you guys know, fashion is a huge focal point of I Got More to Say. And today on I Got More to Say, we got another edition of Put On or Put the Fuck Out. Essentially, I'm going to show our lovely guest, Miss Bailey Davis, a photo of rappers in either a good outfit or a bad outfit. And Bailey is to say whether they put the outfit on, meaning they executed it properly, or if they need to be put the fuck out, meaning they have had better days within the fashion world. So, Bailey, are you ready?
I am, yeah.
Got you. So, Bailey, this is very Atlanta based just because of the simple fact that, I've kind of touched on Chicago a little bit. I really want to touch on Atlanta, especially with you growing up there, or being from there, rather. So, first off, we got Quavo of the Migos. Sorry, these photos came out a little weird. How do we feel about Quavo's fit? Did he put on or do he need to be put the fuck out?
He needs to be put the fuck out. I'm sorry. This is so bad.
Okay, tell us why.
I don't know if you guys can see, but the whole happy smiley face acid situation is so 2013. Baby, what are you doing? The chains are there, but you can be naked with chains and look good. So no. And then the purple ones just not. It's not working for me.
Put out?
Put out.
Oh man.
Take that away from me. And get that out of my face.
Gotcha. I bet. Next up, we have the lovely Omeretta.
Aww.
How do we feel about her outfit? Does she put on or does she need to be put out?
I hate this fucking print so much. But she looks cute. Like, she's doing her thing. She's making it work. So I think put on.
Put on for Amaretta?
And I like the cohesiveness too. And I like just this. It's hot. It's hot. She can put the fuck on.
Put on?
Yeah.
I bet. Amaretta, shout out to you, Amaretta. Bailey Davis says that you put on. Next up, we got Little Baby. How we feeling?
Ooh. Maybe it's like the Rolls Royce in the back, but I was just like, I'm feeling it. I don't know.
The camera getting this right. Okay.
Yeah, I would say put on. Like, this is sick. It's simple. It's all white. It's classy a little bit. Like
Clean.
neo. Yeah, clean for sure. I would say put the fuck on.
So put the fuck on for Baby?
Yeah.
Shout out to Baby. Because people be getting at him in his comments.
No, I know.
Next up, we got the lovely. Actually, I'm going to hold it up like this. We got the lovely Lotto. How we feeling?
Oh, hell yeah.
Hell yeah for Lotto?
Hell yeah.
Okay, hold on. That's a lot
Easy.
of... Okay, tell us why.
Because who the fuck else is doing it with a pink wig, a pink fur coat, and a pink dress and pink heels?
Nikki probably, but we'll give Lotto her credit.
True. No, you're right. No, you're
I'm
so
not an
right.
instigator. I gotta give. I mean, her first album's called The Pink Print.
No facts. No.
Yeah, we can't just discredit her.
No, you're right.
Yes, but yeah, Nikki.
Funny, she did it on Lotto's picture.
Oh no, Lotto is who she is, and she does look great. I mean,
I
it's-
think she
yeah.
looks great.
She was great.
She's eating.
She's eating.
She's eating.
Okay, so the all pink Lotto. She put.
I love it.
She put on Lotto. You put on. Shout out to Lotto. Next up, you already knew that was coming.
Okay.
Thugger on the cover of Jeffrey.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
It's honestly a timeless photo. I think it's beautiful.
Because technically, it's not
It's
a dress,
artistic.
right? That's a quilt. I think that's how it was described, or a quilt or a kimono.
It's not a kimono, I don't
Okay.
think.
Because
But-
Thug described it as a quilt.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, it must be some kind of like.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's sick. I don't know.
Because I think an
I love
Italian designer designed that. I think his name is Alessandro Trincone. I don't know how to say it.
Okay.
So I think an
didn't know
Italian
that.
designer designed that.
Okay. Sick. I love it. I think it's gorgeous. It's so editorial.
Got you. So Thug put on?
Put on for sure.
Got you. Shout out to Thug. Free Thug, by the way. We miss you, homie. Definitely miss you. 21 Savage. How do we feel about 21's fit?
This is disgusting.
Damn.
This is so bad.
Can you please tell us why? Like, I'm sorry, just your face and the way you said that with so much disgust.
like
Like, I'm not gonna lie, I'm about to use this as like an audio clip and use this in future shows. I can't believe you said that shit.
Like, he just looks like he is either like begging for change or something, or looks like the grimy guy who's like staring at you across the bar,
Oh shit.
like wanting like sweating at the sight of you, like across the room.
Uh-huh.
It's just giving sweaty man energy. I don't know. I don't like it.
So put out?
Yeah, disgusting. Sorry.
Okay. Next. Sorry. Next up, we got Gunna.
Like, I see what he's trying to do, because whatever company this was, it was super
Show the camera
popular
really quick,
for.
I'm sorry.
It was super popular. Like, this print was popular for a minute.
That's who that is?
I didn't even realize it was gonna. But he looks a damn fool. I won't even lie to you. He looks a damn fool. Like, with the Thames, with the.
Serious? Like, we get it, bro. You got it.
Literally, we get it. But it's not working for him at all. So,
Put the fuck out.
I've
Put the
never
fuck
seen
out.
ski masks from that brand. That's crazy.
Next up, Future in the Louis V jacket. Please show the camera if you don't mind.
oh, this is sick. I think this is his vibe. I'm not mad at it. Simple, classy. He looks like. Yeah, he's cute. He looks cute.
Rock with Future?
I rock with Future.
Is that your type of man right there?
Oh, absolutely not. That
Oh,
man's a
okay.
dog.
No, I'm talking about like the way he looked.
Oh, with the Letterman? No, it's just giving like all American.
All
I
American.
don't know. I think there's always a
Okay.
vibe.
So Future, he put on.
Yeah, and I think that hat was controversial too, because it.
Look like Make America Great Again?
Yeah, but it's something else. Anyways,
Got you.
it's chill.
So Future put on.
Yeah.
All right, next up, because some artists I feel like deserve too. How about we feel about Hat Future? This was an era. Because that
Oh,
Future
shit.
right there made better music than damn near anybody.
It's giving Neo. Like he looks like he's about to do a little, you know how Neo dances? Yeah, that's the vibe. I hate the army jacket. But low-key, he's kind of slick with I don't know, with the sunglasses and the mustache, like, and his skin is like flawless.
Put on or put out.
I think we should put him out though.
Damn, I thought she was gonna say put on.
No, I think we should put him out though.
She spoke so positively about that man.
No, because like as a concept, I get it, but the execution's not there.
Damn. Pluto, we love you, bro, but you gotta be put out. Next up, I wanted my dog Savage to redeem himself. How do we feel about Savage with the matching red Lamborghini?
This is worse. This is worse. Objectively, this is worse. Objectively, this is worse.
Like, y'all gonna stop dogging Savage like that, bro. That's
No, for me, it's like the paisley print, like, tie situation and then the fucking check pants. It makes no sense. And the glasses, I hate it. I would be scared to see this man in person, like terrified. I would walk across the street if I saw it.
so,
I don't know.
so is it put on or put out, Bailey?
It's put out.
Or put the fuck out?
Put the fuck out.
Oh,
for sure.
Man. Bonnie? Hell no?
Absolutely not.
Next up, and probably gonna wrap it at here. But next up, we got the legendary Gucci Man, Gucci Down. I believe that was at the Jeezy Versus. How do we feel about Gucci?
This man is clearly Gucci down at the socks.
Mm-hmm. It's on brand.
Yeah. Honestly, I don't hate this.
Okay.
The picture's a little bit blurry, but
Yeah.
I don't hate it.
Mm-hmm.
I think it might be some kind of like fur texture, which obsessed with.
Okay.
He's dripped out on the wrists. He's icy. The shoes match. The pants aren't too loud like that last fucking photo. I think it's classy. It's classy.
So Gucci put it on.
He put it on.
Man, shout out to Gucci.
He put it on.
Definitely.
Shout out to Gucci.
Shout out to Gucci, man. Hey, if y'all haven't, go hear that new 06 Gucci. That's one of my favorite songs right now. But listen. Oh, wait, hold on. We're going to cut this real quick. So, Bailey, just wanted to tell you, thank you so much for coming on the show. Super intelligent. Extremely, I mean, as I said before, I mean, the fly goddess. You know what I'm saying? They call
Thank
West
you.
Side Gun the fly god. Fly goddess. I don't think nobody got that. That definitely belonged to you. As I said, just overall, like I said, it was just an absolutely great conversation, and I just love how you were able to come through and just being somebody who comes from a fashion background and somebody who's, I always say this, not new to this, but true to this. Like I said, it was just absolutely a great time to be able to sit down and have a chat with you. Could you please just look into that camera, just tell them, you know what I'm saying, some different things, you know, maybe your social medias, what you got working on, you know what I'm saying, some shameless self-promotion?
Yeah. Well, thank you for having me, Kato. It's always a pleasure.
Thank you.
You can follow me on Instagram at Bailey Davis, 2 Y's, 3 S's. Because I don't got it like that yet.
Okay.
But you can also follow my magazine that's coming out April 29th. It's called Zeal, Zeal. You can follow us at Zine Zeal on Instagram. And stay tuned.
Can you spell that for us? Zine Zeal?
Zinezeal, all one word.
Okay.
Yeah, stay tuned with our stuff. We're doing some really cool photo shoots this weekend. We just did one in a bar, one in a tanning salon, and we're gonna have some cool AR stuff in the print version. So I'm really excited.
Any other advice, Bailey, just as far as people when it comes to fashion, so they can, you know, help find their style and their sense? Because, you know, you found it. Is there anything you can give to other people?
Yeah, I feel like my best piece of fashion advice is, and this might be corny, but be yourself. Don't be afraid to, you know, create and curate your own style and be passionate about what you wear. It's not always about what other people are doing. You might see 20 girls wearing Lululemon leggings, but if you want to wear some fucking jeans, wear those jeans. Like, do you. Don't follow other people. Don't follow trends.
Well, y'all, this has been I Got More to Say. I appreciate you, Bailey, for coming through and being able to give us, you know what I'm saying, some game and some wisdom and to listen to your story.
Yeah, of course.
I say it was a pleasure to be able to share time, space, and energy with you. I'm Kato. This is Bailey. And as always, I got more to say.